Cue intro, if I had one. Say joke, right? That's funny. Nah. Okay, my name's Rexhart, and today I figure I'd review my first ever episode that got me into the genre of MLP, with the fandom and everything. 28 pranks later. What's interesting about the name of this episode is it referenced one of the better zombie movies, 28 Days Later, where we follow the outcomes of a survivor who was in the hospital 28 days prior and has awoken to a world of a zombie apocalypse. But in this case with the episode, it's based around Rainbow Dash and her love for pranks going too far. So with that, let's start the video, I guess. I'll just be talking as I'm viewing. So we're starting off the episode in the woods following Fluttershy and her animals. Pretty standard, you know. Kind of sets the mood. Basically, the mist is all around. It is just scary Dragon Alley here. Even if she has a bear next to her, it's still going to be terrifying because you don't know what's lurking around in those woods. And in our case, yeah, the bear's just scared as well, but besides that... Oh, here comes Rainbow. At least Fluttershy's trying to keep everyone calm, but then the surprise happens. And okay, what's interesting is the bear's terrified, and it just shows no matter how big you are, everything's still going to be scary. Okay, I'm going to pause it right here, because something about this scene where Rainbow Dash jumps out, like, they show everything about her costume straight away when she's revealed in the moonlight and everything, right? But one thing happens with this scene that I still don't understand where it went. The kazoo that she's using, you know, those party noise makers that you blow during New Year's, she's using one of those, and in the next scene, it's gone. Like, there's no sight of it. It's not on the ground anywhere as far as I could tell. But other than that, from a shadow perspective, it definitely looks like a horrifying beast. Still don't get how she got her eyes to glow so ominous, but again, that we could be seeing the perception through Fluttershy's eyes, or one of her animals' eyes, and in her eyes, she sees a terrifying, dragon-esque, like, how do I put it, like a forest wolf dragon. Even though the kazoo look, the sign gives it away, like, you know right off the bat it is not dangerous as soon as you pay real close attention and see it's a kazoo. Let's keep going. And then it's revealed, but right in the next scene, the kazoo is gone. So either Rainbow Dash has a weird tongue, or it's just she spit it out and it's just gone. That kind of sets the premise, like Rainbow Dash just upping her pranks up by a lot. And this prank really sets the bar for the next scene, which is interesting because, well, I'll get to that. Okay, I know every other analyst and such has covered this, but it is equivalent to mention Fluttershy does get scared easily, but the whole boo part is, even I've got to say it's bad, like, rip Flutters in chat or something, I don't know. Let's keep going. So we move to the next scene where we're in the castle. And basically they're just talking about the whole prank. Okay, so a fact about with Pinky's viewing of all pranks, that's true. Like, those feelings is what makes a prank great, but not everyone likes that feeling, mind you. Some just hate the rush in the heart. Others really don't like being scared at all, like Fluttershy, but being scared is a healthy thing. Like, it's been proven that being scared is healthy for you. Anyways, let's continue. Okay, right there, the whole, when Applejack says scaring Fluttershy is lazy. Now that is true, like, Fluttershy is an easy scare, but don't forget, they've been friends for the longest time at this point. So Fluttershy, you think Fluttershy would have expected at least a single scare from Rainbow Dash every now and then. Obviously, the prank that Rainbow Dash pulled was a little bit overwhelming, but this next bit where Applejack talks is kind of, yeah. And the whoopee cushion. Right there is, right after this, basically AJ goes into a whole conversation about how lazy that type of prank is, which sets the ball rolling for the whole episode. But one thing that I just, literally, if AJ and Rarity had phrased their wording a little bit better during this scene, this whole episode would have happened. Like, it might have happened later on at some point, but mind you, pranks are pranks. Like, they're meant to be scary. They're meant to just give you a happy heart. Mind you, if you're the type of person that doesn't like to be scared, that's fine. And Rainbow Dash was in the wrong in some parts of this. I'm not trying to say that she was in the right, but in parts she was definitely in the wrong, but others she was slightly in the right. Like, a part where she did, like, when she pranked, I can't say it. Anyways, this video is going to be long. Basically where she pranks Fluttershy. It's basically, yes, it could count as lazy, but at the same time, you don't tell someone that it's lazy. Like, if they took the time and effort to plan it out, they obviously put passion into this. Like, if you look on YouTube right now, you could probably find many prank YouTube videos. And it's basically, they put effort into it, and they know the consequences. This whole episode is basically teaching Rainbow those lessons, the consequences to her actions. That's literally the whole basis of the episode. Because I'm not a pranker myself, but from what I've gathered, there's several rules in pranking. One, make sure you know your victim well enough to set the prank. Two, make sure that after the prank is done, that you're both okay and no harsh feelings were said or done. And three, just hug it out. Feel good about it at the end, and once all the anger, the fear has dropped, just shake hands or hug or whatever, and just forgive them. Or you forgive the person you pranked and say sorry. Because in the end, that's what it is. Anyways, on with the video. It's just a prank. And Twilight's not amused by the whoopee cushion. She just... right there, the joke shortcut. And then Rarity states the effort. Okay, and again, mind you, just beforehand, Rainbow Dash somehow, through this whole costume together, it still made it believable enough she was this freaky beast of the shadows. And you're telling me that that's not effort. No, like, again, it's like, it's two different visions. One vision being the person viewing the prank from afterwards, and then the other person who done the prank, and then I guess the third view would be the person who got pranked on. The person who got pranked on, the person who pulled the prank, know that there was effort put into it, but when someone's viewing it after it's said and done, it's basically, they don't see the effort. Mind you, again, I'm not a prankster, but from, again, what I've gathered, when you put effort into your pranks, you at least want the decency of people to not say you don't put any effort into it. We're continuing. And right there, they even acknowledge she took it the wrong. Rainbow took it the wrong way. So the whole side story to this is basically the CMC are selling cookies, which leads into the main plot later. Okay, what's also interesting is the effort she put into the cake. Like, it's decorated, it's beautiful. But she also was able to replace the sewing machine, which is in of itself impressive, like, to get that sculpted. Thing is, this episode basically shows the abilities Rainbow Dash has. She can, because it's kind of assumed that she made the cake herself, and from what I can tell, it was a perfect replica. Even Rarity was fooled by it until she used it, obviously. And it's kind of just guessed that Rainbow probably gives the sewing machine back after the whole ordeal, or Rarity finds it again. That's kind of my presumption. Okay, right here. So in this next scene where AJ has her room completely decked out in everything that would make a noise, I still get the curling iron. I guess it would give off steam, I guess. I get the bucket of water, I get the pans, I get the bells, but I don't get the iron. Also, the skateboard, it feels like a Home Alone setup in this, like. So from what I can tell from the angle I'm looking at, the bucket falls, Rainbow Dash trips, falls on the skateboard, lands on the pillow, and while on the skateboard, her face gets shot with a bunch of steam, but mind you, she can fly. It's like you're trying to trip a pony that, basically this would probably work on an Earth pony, mind you, but with Rainbow Dash, she could easily move out through all that, and she does. But then how she gets the bed out without making a single sound, mind you. That still confuses me. It's like Pinkie Pie logic. It's just there. And then AJ wakes up to a pig. But how they got the bed out there still confuses me. So I guess somehow Rainbow disarmed everything. And yeah. Just got the bed out the door without... Okay, this also just shows that Rainbow Dash sometimes follows Pinkie Pie logic, because in another scene, basically, I'll talk about it in a moment once it comes up. skunk on the head. Mind you, this character, like, Cranky did nothing to do with anything that was discussed. Okay, and Spike just setting out... Okay, this other scene with Celestia and Spike, Celestia had nothing to do with any of this, again, mind you. And it's like, she's setting pranks off that are to people who had nothing to do with anything. Like, I can see that, yeah, it gets out of hand at that point when she starts pranking people that weren't even in the friend group nor the conversation that went on. Like, I can understand why she pranked Spike, but she could have easily pranked Spike other ways, maybe with pepper under the nose, like anything. I know Spike's kind of a joke, but when you mess with a princess of all lands, of many lands, you should really move countries. Mind you, just saying for reference. Okay, right here, where the boulder appears, like, okay, I could imagine maybe Rainbow Dash got a cloud, put it under the boulder and lift it up, because we have seen many heavy things on a cloud in Cloudsdale and other scenes of homes in the clouds, right? Like, we've seen solid floors, but it's just odd to see. Okay, so there's two ways this goes. Either Rainbow Dash works out so much that she's able to lift an entire boulder, mind you, looks like it would weigh about as much as two medium-sized wrecking balls, roughly, or one medium-sized wrecking ball. That's how strong Rainbow Dash would lift. Either that or she got a cloud to lift it and then destroyed the cloud when Big Mac was in place. So that's my theory. Either cloud or Rainbow Dash just works out a lot. And then finally we have this scene with Mr. Cake with eating a sandwich and there being a cinder brick. Okay, I can't remember if this was prior or after, but we literally see ponies eating rocks. I'm pretty in generalizing between rocks and cinder bricks, they're roughly the same. They're both rocks. They're both made of rocks. Rocks are made of rocks. I could get more technical, but that's a whole topic you could find on science channels. But in the meantime, he technically should have been able to bite through the brick, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have as strong as a jaw as certain ponies only have strong enough jaws. Or maybe it's a trait that only works with earth ponies. Maybe earth ponies are the only ones that could eat rocks. That's my guess. Oh, wait, is Mr. Cake an earth pony? I can't remember now. Rain's having a fart moment. Even though I'm looking at the video right now. But again, this is where you get into the conversation when who is properly to prank. Rainbow Dash's friends, that was a right to prank because they question her motive. They literally put her skills in question. And she proves them wrong, mind you. But when you start to prank just random people, that's when, you gotta think of consequences. Like, small friend groups are fine. They know you're just joking around. But when you prank public, even prankers know this. There's consequences. So let's move on to the next scene where everybody's talking with Pinky. And Pinky just looks so sad when those muffins drop, mind you. It's sad to see that. Like, she looks down like, Huh. But anyways, let's continue. Okay, so when we look at when Piggy's getting pranked, we can... I like this because we see two outfits from prior episodes. One notably that I noticed was her dress from, I believe it was one of the gala episodes, if I recall. Which is a nice little continuity there. Like, she still has the outfit hung and everything. Which is nice. It's good to see that again. I always like the dress designs in the show. Gives me something to look at. Other than, okay, I know how wrong that sounds, but believe me, I'm a fashion nerd, I guess you could say. I do like fashion. But anyways. Okay, so right there when Twilight talks about who likes pranks and who doesn't like pranks. This is the same thing again with certain YouTube pranking videos where they go out and prank random people. Like, everybody likes a good prank now and then, but I guess it depends on the set, on where you live, maybe. Maybe that's it. Because if you're in a small town where everybody knows each other, then, yeah, then it could get annoying, like, because... just could be, because you know you're going to have to deal with this every other day if it keeps up. So I can see where their argument is coming from, but at the same time, with Ponyville, we don't know whether or not it's fully active 24/7, like it has people coming in and out. As far as we know, it is a small town where it's not as major as Canterlot or the other cities we've seen. So I guess you could say in this argument, yes, in a small town where everyone knows each other fairly well, it could get annoying. Anyways, let's continue with the episode. This is going to be a long conversation from my timer up in the corner there of my camera. Okay, I'm going to pause it here for now. I guess this is going to be a two-parter. Until then, I'm Rex Hart, and see you later.